Okay, well, we're ready to begin. I thought the best way to explain my procedure with processing black and white prints was to start with the processors empty and fill them with chemistry and explain what's happening as we go along. Each slot that's filled with chemistry has a tank in between that's filled with water and also a heater, sort of like a aquarium heater that has a very sensitive thermostat. So you can set the processor temperature, and I leave mine set at 75. It's very, very convenient for that. And the other thing is, you don't have any pouring back of chemicals back and forth into trays. You don't have to clean up after every printing session. You can start and stop whenever you want. It's very convenient. The downside is you don't get to see your print come up in the developer. As a kid, I was hooked on that. That got me into darkroom work to begin with. But the convenience and the ability to process at higher temperatures really is worth it to me. Now that I'm pushing 80 years old, I'm thinking of going back to trays for the last few years of my darkroom work, probably. I have 6 slots. This is one processor. It has 3 slots. This is another processor. It has 3 slots. And this is a vertical washer. And there's 2 of these. And from that, the prints go into a holding tray. So in the first processor, I've used Ansco 130 developer. This is a developer that you have to make from scratch. It has 6 ingredients, 3 of which are developing agents, which actually develop the image. 2 of them, metol and hydroquinone, are used in many black and white paper developers. The third one, glycine, is a little bit unusual, and it imparts some unique qualities to this developer that make a beautiful, warm image with highlights that have lots of detail. So I love this developer. Once I found it, I stuck with it. And I'm going to fill this first slot up with Ansco 130 developer. The next slot is plain water. The third slot is SB1, Kodak SB1 formula stop path, which neutralizes the developer and stops the developer from working. The water bath, sometimes I leave prints in the water bath a little bit. I think it has a compensating effect and allows the highlights to get a little bit darker without touching the shadows. But I don't do that with every print. But I do use it to rinse some of the developer off before it goes into the stop bath. And then these final 3 slots are all rapid fixer, which dissolves the remaining silver halides that haven't been converted to metallic silver that makes up the image. So there's 3 of those, and the manufacturer recommends 1 minute fixing time, which is very brief. So in each of these 3 slots, the print just remains for about 20-25 seconds. Well, for all the slots, the processor is set up at 75 degrees, which is a little warmer than most people use, but it also enables me to have a shorter developing time. And the developing time I use with the dilution of the developer that I use is 1 minute. So I have 1 minute processing time, a quick rinse in water, a quick rinse in stop bath, and then 3 succession of rapid fix for 20 seconds each. So my processing is pretty rapid. So slot processing is not for everyone. I think for anyone that wants to do color, it is absolutely ideal. So let's get busy filling these tanks. Let's do SB1 stop bath first. This has only 1 ingredient, and it's acetic acid. So I'm going to fill up this slot with water. That's nearly to the top. This little graduate holds 50 cc's, 50 milliliters of glacial acetic acid. Glacial acetic acid is bad stuff. It's a very strong acid. It has a very bad smell, and it can burn your hands. So I only want to do it very carefully. And you always need to add it to water. You can never add water to glacial acetic acid. And I put that there. I cover this up. And I haven't smelled a thing because I've done it so quickly. I've gotten the acid into the stop bath tank, and now I'm going to fill it with water up to the top. And I give it a quick stir, and there we have our stop bath. Our water. And last of all, we have, I need to put 1,400 milliliters into the first slot because I use ANSCO 130 at 1-to-1 dilution. And I should have mentioned before, another property of this developer is that you can really replenish it. As I use the developer, it goes down in quantity because of the carryover. When you remove the print from the developer, the surfaces of the print bring a lot of developer out of the developer tank. So I replace that with full strength ANSCO 130, which I use as a replenisher. And I keep the developer for really months in the tank that way. I just need to add 1,400, and then the rest can be water. That will get me to the 131 dilution. So let's see how it is. Okay. This is dark, but glycine turns dark when it's a powder. It's very sensitive to light and air. Okay, here's a liter, 1,000 milliliters of ANSCO 130 developer, full strength. 1,700 milliliters we need. So we need a little bit more than that. Okay, I gotta start another bottle. 1,700. Okay, I filled this up. And I now have ANSCO 131 developer, 1-to-1 with water. Now I'll give it a quick stir. And our first slot processor is now done. So we're moving on to the second processor, which contains all rapid fixer. And rapid fixer, we need 650 milliliters of full strength rapid fixer in this processor. And each slot gets filled with water because the rapid fixer gets diluted 1-to-4. Not 1-to-1 like the developer, but 1-to-4. So I'm going to do some rinsing over here. I like to rinse out the developer bottles because any remaining developer will turn really black. rinse out my graduate so that I don't get any developer in with the fixer. I'll rinse out my funnel, and we're ready to move on. $6.50 of rapid fixer. There's $6.50. Let me rinse out this rapid fixer bottle. This goes in the first slot. I think I'm going to put $6.50 in each slot first, and then just add water. $6.50 again. And $6.50 one more time. Okay. Now I'll put all of these in water because I want to be careful not to get fixer all over the darkroom. We'll add water so that each of these tanks becomes rapid fixer diluted 1:4. Okay, well, I decided to show you how this slot processing actually works under real printing conditions. But with the safe lights being so dim, I couldn't continue using my GoPro, so I had to switch to a different camera, and I got the audio levels a little high, so there was some distortion. So I'm just going to narrate the remaining parts of the tape, and that should be fine. We're going into safe light conditions now, and they're a little brighter than they actually are in real life, but I thought you'd like to see a little bit more than you can under real safe lights. I'm taking a sheet of paper now, unexposed paper. It's Ilford Warm Tone, which I really love as a photographic paper, and I'm putting it in the easel, which is directly beneath the enlarger. And you'll see there in the lower right my beautiful Omega timer. I love those timers. And we're counting down now. 12 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, and so forth. And you can see the exposure being made there by the enlarger on the paper. And then I needed to burn in the corners, which makes the corners a little bit darker. And you see me moving my hand there to get the lower corners, and then my other hand to get the upper corners. It's one of the wonderful things about analog photography, is using your hands to control light. And then I'm removing the paper, and I'm taking it over to the slot processor, which is at 75 degrees, and will just stay that way forever, which is great. And I'm putting a clip on the paper, and then I'm inserting the paper in the developer for 1 minute. That's ANSCO 130 developer diluted 1:1. And I'm agitating it, keeping it moving so that it doesn't develop any streaks, so that it comes out completely even development. And it's for 1 minute developing time. So being that I'm doing this as a voiceover, I can't tell how much time is left, but I think not very much. It's very easy to process prints this way. I had to research the clips a lot. I've used a lot of different kinds of clips. These work pretty well. Sometimes they let loose, and you have to fish the print out, but not too often. And then after this, we'll be going into the water bath for just a quick rinse. This keeps the developer from getting too much into the stop bath, which actually stops the development. And I change the water bath quite a bit during my processing sessions. That goes in the water bath. And then it comes out and goes into the stop bath, which is a very weak solution of glacial acetic acid. And after that, we go into the fixer. And the fixer removes the silver halide so that we can turn the light on soon. I just started the timer again for a minute because the fixing time is very brief. It's rapid fixer, and it's a neutral a rapid fixer. It's not acid rapid fixer. So it goes into the second fixing bath. And 3 fixing baths is really overkill. Most of the work is done in the first one. But the third one is practically there's no silver left. No halides left to be dissolved. And you can see the clip came off. So now I have to break a cardinal rule of darkroom work and get a little fixer on my fingers. But it won't be for long because it'll be rinsed off in the next 2 washes. And that's the last fixing bath. For another 15-20 seconds is all it needs, just because I'm compulsive about fixer. And now we turn the lights on, and we're ready to go into the wash cycle. And then into the holding tray after 2 wash cycles. And there's my nephew, Ryan. That's a portrait that I did recently. And it'll stay in the holding tray for a few minutes. I very often dry prints at this point without finishing them. There's a lot more to be done. They have to be toned. They have to be treated with hypoclearing agent. And then they have to be dried, and then they need to be flattened. So we're about halfway through, but I leave them in the holding bath, which is actually a print washer, so I can change the water pretty frequently. And that's it. That's the slot processing that I like so well, and that I will probably continue using, unless I go back to trays for the waning years of my darkroom work. I do like seeing the prints come up in the developer. That's always a fun thing. But for right now, I really value the convenience of the processors. Thanks for watching.